All right, guys, welcome. We have David from Drone Launch Academy, and he's built out, basically he was an accountant. He does forensic accounting for the government, and he started doing the drone. He did an online course called the Drone Launch Academy, and he generates 6 figures. And this is basically doing it on the side, and now he's going full-time on this. So take it away, David.
All right, thanks, Tanya. Hey, everybody. So yeah, like Tanya said, I've been doing full-time accounting stuff for probably 7 or 8 years. Always worked, I've worked on the side for like other businesses and startups, consulting with them on different things, but always kind of wanted to do my own thing. So I have a background in aviation. So when drone stuff started coming up, it was kind of a good fit and sort of fell into it on the side when I saw the opportunity. So back in late 2016, or maybe sometime in 2016, we put together this course. So to give you a real quick, I don't want to waste too much time because that's not what this is about, but just to give you a background of where I am. The FAA came out with some new rules that said in order to legally fly drones commercially, you have to take and pass this exam that they administer. So we put together a prep course for that exam. So I got together with a Air Force meteorologist and an attorney who's also a pilot who I just happened to meet at a conference, and they partnered with me to put this together. And then I went out and got my FAA instructor certificate, which surprisingly all I have to do is study and take and pass an exam. So I did that. So we've been doing this for about 1.5 years. Definitely some ups and downs, which I can share with you more as we go through it. But today I was just going to give you guys a framework for kind of what I've learned as I've built this course, and then we're building other courses now, and then maybe try to translate that into other businesses. You're not like a company who just wants to build courses. Let's say you do something else and you want to incorporate courses. Try to give some good tips there. I have someone in my Owners Up group who their core business isn't necessarily courses, it's coaching, but they also offer courses. So kind of get into some of that too. All right, all right. So the first one, first thing I want to talk about, the natural objection that comes up, or not objection, but thought in people's minds is, well, my business doesn't have anything to do with making courses. Why would I pivot into this, or why would I get into that? So, just like any other product or service that you have, courses, all they're there for is to solve a problem and give someone a result, right? So there are courses on literally anything you can think of. People always like to talk about underwater basket weaving as something very obscure, but I guarantee you there's a course out there on underwater basket weaving. There's a course for literally everything. Some of them are really crappy. Some of them are great. But just because you think your topic is obscure, or, let's say you have a tent rental business and you're like, well, how am I going to offer a course? I guarantee you there's some way to come up with a course, maybe not directly tied to your, you're not going to necessarily teach someone how to start a tent rental business. I mean, maybe you could, but you need to be thinking about supplementary things that you could do around your products and services. We'll get into that in a minute. And another thing is, not all customers are maybe in a place to currently buy what you are selling at the moment. So maybe you are a consultant or you offer some other type of service, and someone doesn't want to spend the money to hire you, right? So here's an example. Since I'm an accountant, I kind of go with the bookkeeper scenario. If you're a bookkeeper, someone might not want to hire a bookkeeper, but maybe you offer a pretty reasonable course on, hey, I have a course for business owners who just want to keep their own books, teaches you the basics, everything you want to know. Maybe that's a lot cheaper. They can pay a one-time fee. They can learn what they want, and then they can get in. So that kind of gives your customers a foot in the door on a different rung of your business. So I'm not sure how many of you guys are familiar with ClickFunnels, Russell Brunson, or the book .com Secrets, but I haven't read the whole thing. But in that book, and this is talked about other places too, he talks about your value ladder. So it's basically what I was talking about, where there's different rungs to what you offer, and you kind of want to guide your customers through that rung. So a course can be a great thing for your initial stage of your value ladder, kind of that bottom rung. You can make a free course, you can make, or you make paid courses. So all my stuff is paid courses, but we're working on some more free material. So we just came out with a free course on video editing, and that's going to be like our first rung of our value ladder, so people can come in, kind of get into our ecosystem, get familiar with us, build up that know, like, and trust factor. And then you can then market to them to take them to the next levels of your value ladder. So for instance, most customers don't jump right into your most expensive offering, right? You kind of have to nurture them through your business and up through your different value ladder levels. So, let's say the Bookkeeper, they offer, even if let's say they offer a free course on how to know if you're making financial mistakes, or like how to get good financial reports, something that would be beneficial, probably pretty easy for them to put together. Somebody might take that, they look, they see, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. Next time they think, man, I need to hire a bookkeeper, they're probably gonna hire that guy, because they already trust him. So it's a great, can be used as a lead magnet, and it's a great entry point. And even think if you have like a product-based business, let's say, I was just thinking about this example last night. I bought a leather couch, like a used leather couch. It was pretty crappy. Smelled like dog. I didn't know it smelled like dog when I bought it. They sold the couch outside, which was smart since it really stunk. So I got it in my house. Oh gosh. But I was trying to figure out how to refinish this leather couch. So I went online and I looked, bought some like leather refinishing stuff, but I don't really know how to use it. So it would have been a prime opportunity. Let's say you buy this leather refinishing stuff and they give you like a 5-video little series on like, hey, here's how to use this product. Here's how to really get the most out of it. So it's not even necessarily a course per se, but almost a guide just as a supplement to that product to how to use it. So you can, be creative and think about different ways you can use. It's really just a way to convey information to someone else so they get a tangible benefit. So in that instance, the tangible benefit to me would be my couch doesn't smell like dog and it looks new, you know what I mean? And now I'm buying their stuff, right? Because it kind of, to use the course, I need their stuff. So you kind of can play those off of each other. Bookkeeper example, we talked about this a little bit. Small business owner might not want to hire a bookkeeper right away. So maybe they take a DIY course for $29 or $100 or, whatever, however much value you could pack in there. Eventually that business is going to grow, hopefully, and they're not going to want to do their own books anymore. They're going to need to bring in a pro, then you're going to be the obvious choice. So for any service professional, that's like a good segue into your own stuff. And I know a lot of people do that. A lot of people do this in the realm of paid advertising. So a lot of people will start their own paid ads, cost per click management, service company, and then they create courses around teaching other people to either start their own paid ads agency or teach business owners to do it themselves. I even bought one of those courses. So, and then I have someone to manage my paid ads, so I ended up not using it. But all right. So you think, all right, cool. Well, I'm sold on the course idea. I want to make a good course. How do I come up with a good idea for the course? Whenever you think about classic good course ideas, right? The ones that are always seem to have the easiest selling points are you are gonna make someone more money, right? If you can clearly define how what you're teaching them is going to allow them to make more income or to save money, those are easy sellers. They're easy to articulate. Hey, you spend, $200 on my course, you are now going to be enabled to make $5,000 a month, right? That's like a pretty easy value proposition in someone's mind. And a lot of health, and other tangible benefits. People buy a lot of courses on related to health, fitness, because that's a very popular thing. People want to look good, feel good. So people play on those emotions too, whether that's right or wrong, got to do it ethically. So if it alleviates pain, increases pleasure, some type of combination, there's a market there. So some people get a lot of satisfaction out of maybe underwater basket weaving or woodworking or whatever. They may not be willing to pay as much, or your value proposition might not be as strong for that as, say, hey, I'm going to teach you how to be an engineer and market to these firms and make $150,000 a year. But it's probably a lot less work too. So just because you think, oh, my thing it's not a money-making thing, or, for instance, the course, like I said, teaching someone how to refinish a couch isn't making that person any money, but it's alleviating a problem. See, I have a pain, my couch smells like dog and it looks like junk. I want that fixed. So, and people say, okay, well, where do I go to start a course? Like, what topic should I do? And I tell people, think about what you already know, right? So a lot of you guys, well, I would assume all of you have businesses since you're in Owners Up. It's like, what does your business do? And start to think about how informational products or courses can kind of supplement around that. And even if you're doing something outside of your existing business, where let's say you're starting something new, you would look at, what am I good at? What do I actually enjoy doing? Most people think, well, I'm not really good at anything. I don't have anything to teach, right? But you fill your time with something, you do stuff with your day, you do get good at something. It's not possible to not be good at anything. And if you are, I don't know, maybe get good at something even moderately and then come back and think about it. So, you can even take a hobby, something that you do well, teach somebody else how to do it. And the thing is, if you're not good at anything, it's not that hard to learn. So All right. Ask yourself, is there any demand for what your business currently sells, right? So if you have a service business, product business, whatever it is, are people buying your products? I would assume so, because if not, you'd be out of business. So if people are buying what you're selling, then yeah, there's demand for it. So that means there's demand for the information that you have, and that means there's demand for your service. So like I said before, info products can complement your business. Bookkeepers can make a course on basic bookkeeping. Let's say a photographer could come out with a course on, hey, how you take great photos with just your iPhone. It's getting people into your circle so they know about you and you're in their mind and on their radar, even if they're not paying for the course. So let's say you're a photographer and you put out some awesome stuff on like how to make really awesome iPhone photos. People might do that. Maybe they'll never go with you, but maybe they'll tell somebody else about your course and that person will see your stuff and they'll want to hire you as a photographer. And then if you're starting from scratch or you just want to come up with other ideas, there are other online tools you can use to see possible other good course ideas, or maybe even if you're trying to branch out into other areas and looking for shoulder ideas, if you will. You can use a lot of different things. So you guys are probably familiar with Google's keyword planning tools within, I think it's part of their AdWords console, but you can see how much people search for certain search terms on Google. So you could say, I might punch in how to do my own bookkeeping, right? And I can see how many people are searching for that. And if it's got 6 searches, I don't even think it would show up for that 6 searches. But let's say it's got 10 searches a month nationally, I'm probably not going to invest, dozens of hours of my time into making a course that nobody's really going to be wanting. So that's a good way to gauge interest for certain things. There's another website called answerthepublic.com. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with Pat Flynn, but he recommended this. I haven't dug into this too much, but I kind of saw what he was doing with it. Basically, you can type in any type of topic area, and it shows all the different questions people ask in that topic area. So you can type in knitting. This is what he did in his video. Typed in knitting. It pulled up all the questions people ask in like this like big tree thing, and you can see, where to buy knitting supplies, all the different things that people search for around that topic. So you can kind of come up with ideas for your course. And then for YouTube, another Pat Flynn thing that I stole from him, not just randomly searching on YouTube, but search for your topic. Then you can filter for channels that have a lot of subscribers, and you can see what other most popular videos to see, okay, what are people trying to flock towards to see what problems are going to be solved. So get creative. There's another one, BuzzSumo. I didn't dig into that too much. I think that's a paid service for some of their more premium features, but that just tells you what's being shared and circulated. You just really want to get a pulse on, are people interested in this topic, and is it a real problem? And then you can look on forums, Facebook groups. I do that a lot in my business. I just monitor a lot of drone forums and Facebook groups to see what people are complaining about, things like that. And it helps me when I do come up with a course to kind of overcome objections in advance, right? So a lot of people complain about the low prices of certain, like they can't get any work in real estate, drone photography, because the prices are so low and the rock bottom you get paid like $20. But I know somebody who's making 6 figures in a drone business in real estate photography. So he's doing something that they're not doing. So if I were to sell a course on this, which I plan on doing later, I'm going to address up front, hey guys, listen, I know a lot of you guys you think this, right? But obviously this guy's doing it and this guy's doing it. I know 2 people are doing it. So what are they doing that you're not, and how can we help get you there? And it's a lot of work. I'm not going to tell them it's like, you just plug it in and you can make 6 figures. But be honest with them. But it's possible. A lot of people are just kind of negative in advance for no reason. Okay, so once you got your killer idea, you know how it's going to complement your business. You say, all right, now I got my idea. How do I get started? I think the first and biggest mistake people make is they think, okay, I want to make a course on bookkeeping, or I want to make a course on iPhone photography, and they just start making it, or they want to make a course on, so we just released a course on video editing. Instead of saying, hey, here's every button in here that you can click on video editing and basically giving them a tutorial of the system, you want to think, what is the main, like you should literally write it down into one sentence. What is the main thing I want this person to walk away from after they complete my course? And you should be able to articulate it in one sentence. It shouldn't be, well, they should know the intricacies of the program of Adobe Premiere Pro because blah, blah, blah. No, it should. So for that, it would be, and we try to distill it in our subheading. It's, create awesome drone videos in 25 minutes. So there's 25 minutes of instruction. It shows them how to take crappy drone footage and turn it into a really sharp looking video in 25 minutes. So people know, if I take this course, this is what I'm going to get. So for the bookkeeping example, it might be, be able to confidently, have financial reports that you can trust and rely on to make decisions in your business, right? So they're using all the accounting knowledge to do that, but the tangible result, the benefit, is what you want to focus on. And that's, first off, that's your selling point, and then that's the thing you need to be thinking about as you're creating the content within the courses. How do I get this person to this transformation, right? How do I get them from the point A to point B where they need to be after they're done with the course? So for me, in my example, it's a pretty easy benefit, right? Because it's a test prep. So we're training people or teaching people how to get the knowledge they need to pass their FAA exam. So our promise, that's our course promise is, either you pass your FAA exam on the first try or we give you your money back. And they actually have to complete our course and pass our final exam to know that they actually went through the material and learned it. To kind of hedge our bet. I don't want someone buying the course, doing one module, taking the test, failing, and getting the money back. So that's kind of an easy promise to come up with. And it's always nice to dig a little bit deeper, especially when you're thinking about pitching this course, is just keep asking, why does that matter? It's like, okay, so we promise that you'll pass your FAA exam. Okay, well, what does that benefit the person? Why would they want to pass their FAA exam? Well, maybe that'll open up new opportunities within their job. So I have a friend, he's an engineer. He wanted to take my course because he wanted to get into drones, because he wanted to kind of carve out a new little niche space in his company where he could be a guy that also can have drones in his arsenal. It'll allow him to get more clients. So, okay, so maybe in your instance, getting a drone license allows you to have broader services to where you can attract new clients that you might not before, which leads to more money, which leads to, and you can keep bringing it out into infinity, right? And it might be different for a lot of different scenarios. Those are helpful things because people make buying decisions on emotion, not so much logic. So if you can get them to feel how good it will be to get the benefit from your course, they're much more willing to buy from you. And even if it's free, a lot of people still need to give their time to take that. So you still need to sell them even if it's a free thing. So that's what I meant, like dig deeper, right? You just keep asking why until you are blue in the face. And then write it down, like I said before. It's always good to have that statement written down and to know what you're working for so you don't get distracted as you're going through your course. Am I doing on time here? I don't want to take forever. Drag it out. Okay, we're good. So like I said, once you have your course's tangible benefit, your promise, focus on making that outcome the reality, right? I don't want to get into like the, making outlines, stuff that's pretty obvious, but try to be in a logical format, right? So someone coming in that has no knowledge, what are they going to need to know at the beginning to get started, and then make it increasingly complex, building on each other. You can also put in quizzes and other types of things. People don't like just reading text. If they wanted to just read text, they would buy a book. There's a lot of good books in every industry. People buy courses because they're interactive and they're teaching you, you're not just reading. So that's why courses are a lot more expensive than books too, because they take a lot of time to put together. So you would say, what is bookkeeping? Why is bookkeeping important for my business? The foundation of debits and credits, why it's important. I didn't want to list out a whole outline for bookkeeping, but you get the idea. Just be thinking about, how do I get this person from or think about who your audience is. Maybe they're not a total newbie in bookkeeping. If this was an intermediate course, you'd say, okay, the person coming into my course already knows X, Y, and Z. We can start here, and then the transformation ends over here, which is my course promise. How do I get them all the way through that? All right. So now I want to talk a little about how to deliver your course. I already kind of bashed on text lectures because I've never seen a successful course that's simply text lectures. That's just an ebook. So don't do that. I use a platform called Teachable.com. There are a bunch of different platforms you can use. There's Teachable. I think their main competitor is Thinkific. Think-I-F-I-C. Okay, I don't know which one. There is Kajabi. That's like a course platform. I think those are probably the main three ones. There might be some that are missing. I did Teachable. I shopped around a little bit at first when I was doing it because I wanted something that had some good quiz functionality and some other things. But I like Teachable a lot. So in Teachable, they have all the infrastructure to build out and manage your course. If it's a free course, if it's a paid course, you can load up all your modules. It works nice on mobile. They've got an app, a lot of great features. And you can kind of build out your lectures in there. You don't have to know like coding and all that stuff. They also have like nice landing page builders. So you can make your sales page. You can do all that stuff. They handle the checkout process, like all the different pieces are kind of all packaged into one. Now it's not like the world's best landing page builder and all this other stuff, but as far as like a total package, it's the best that I could find. So they have a free plan, but I don't know if you can do any paid courses with the free plan. Then they have another plan that's like $30 a month, I think, but they take a certain percentage of the sales. And then I think the plan I'm on, it's like $99 a month where I get to keep everything. I'm going to have like all the features unlocked or whatever. So for me, that's totally worth it. Considering, that's my main source of income is selling these courses. As far as lecture formats, so I know a lot of people who make successful courses. I don't know if you guys have heard of Amy Porterfield. She does a lot of course stuff. She does things on webinars, list building, kind of online in the online marketing space. And her courses, I've bought one before. They're all literally just PowerPoint slides and her voice, and that's it. And she makes millions of dollars. So it doesn't have to be this like really fancy production, really nice, but her content is super good and it works. And she creates like worksheets, and her PowerPoints like look good. She has like a custom designer to make all the graphics and stuff. So it's not boring, but it's kind of hard to make a PowerPoint not boring, especially when they're not seeing your face. You have to have like very little on each slide. We don't have to get into it, but you can do it. It's possible to do PowerPoint slides and make it interesting. A personal recommendation is to go with video. Some people are not super comfortable being in front of camera, but you just do it several times and you get used to it, and it's not that bad. I think I do some recommendations on the next page. Yeah, people are much more engaged. They like watching video. Everybody says video is the future. Video has so much more engagement. Just you can look up any stat. Why is video better than text on Google, and you get a billion stats and research on that. Okay, so as far as the video, so let's say you take the wise recommendation and you go with some video. You don't have to buy a ton of equipment. I mean, I bought a couple $100s worth of equipment after I had like saved up some money from other stuff I was doing. I think I spent a couple $100s on a camera, and I bought some basic lights and some other stuff. But you don't have to do that. I mean, you really, if you wanted to, you could use an iPhone. I mean, the quality on iPhones now are pretty awesome, especially the newer ones. I would recommend though getting an external microphone, like $20. They just plug into, well, I don't have an iPhone or a headphone jack, but your little headphone jack with your Thunderbolt adapter. You can get a mic, clip it to you. It sounds really, really good. You can record everything into your iPhone, and you can buy some lights for pretty cheap. Or I just looked up a bunch of YouTube videos on how to get good lighting with natural lighting. You just like stand in front of a window the right way. You can like put up a sheet up here. You can do a little home system and like have really, really good looking lighting. So you can do all this for pretty cheap, pretty free. And then you just talk and you do your content. I wrote out scripts. I found that when I started talking, I thought, cool, I'm just going to teach people about airspace. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Airspace is, and it's just like super awkward. And then like all of a sudden you just like lose it. You can't think it. So I had to write out a script. I had an iPad. I just downloaded an app for like $2. That was a teleprompter app. And so I could load my scripts in there and the text just moved. And so I could just read it. I just put it right over the camera and it looked like I was, like I was a pro. So you can do little tricks like that to make your course. It doesn't have to be expensive. Just take some work. And then I had all my stuff edited because I'll tell you what, editing is a major, major time suck. You think, oh, I'll just whip these videos together. Absolutely not. It'll take you an eternity. Even if you're a professional like video editor, it takes a while. And to do it good, it takes even longer. So for instance, I tried to edit one like short wrap-up video that I do every month for people. And I think the video is 2 minutes long and it took me 3 hours to edit. And I have several hours of video content in my course. So that would have taken me weeks of just full-time editing. And I'm not a professional editor and that's not what I want to do. So I hired some people to do that. Like right now, I got a guy in the Philippines. I pay him $27 an hour. He can crank out a video like that. He's really good. Go on Upwork, type in video editing, motion graphics. Motion graphics are just the stuff that comes up on your video or animations. There are like billions of people on there clamoring to do that work, so you can get it pretty cheap. And if you want, I can even give you the contact for my guy, although don't take up a lot of his time because I want him to be around. Yeah, so I talked about the design, the Teachable. I don't know any of the other platforms, but I assume they're very similar. So it has a landing page builder. It's pretty easy. It's just like little blocks. You just plug and play. Say, here's the title of my course. You can upload a promo video. It's got a little custom thing for testimonials. So you can put some picture in there and what they said, and it makes it formatted. It looks pretty nice, even without having to do much. Now, if you know coding, you can tweak it and stuff, but really you can just drag and drop the different blocks in there and write it up. It doesn't have to be super complicated. Lecture designs. So those are a little more clunky and teachable, but basically it's the same thing. Blocks, you can put a video block, then you can put some text. This is how I normally have mine. A video at the front, a little bit of text telling them what I said in the video, and then a quiz. I'm only doing a quiz because it's a test prep course, but you can do a quiz if you want to test people on it. And then some people say, well, I have my website. Do I need to have like another domain name for my course? Not to get too technical in the weeds, but you can set up a subdomain pretty easily, which is, so I have dronelaunchacademy.com, which is a WordPress site, but all my courses are hosted on courses.dronelaunchacademy.com. And so that's all, when you go to courses.dronelaunchacademy.com, you're all on Teachable's server. When you do, my other website's a WordPress site on SiteGround, hosting, all that stuff. So, but you can make it look, same colors, same kind of theme, so it looks a little bit more seamless to the student. Takes a little technical setup, but it's not that bad if you know how to get into your GoDaddy stuff. You can modify, or I just paid somebody else to do it for pretty cheap. All right, so you got a course, you got it all made, and you want to launch it. I'll tell you about my first launch. It was a huge success. I gave away a drone, a $1,700 drone or $1,500 drone. I got 4,000 emails. I thought, sweet, at a 1 to 5% conversion rate or whatever I was thinking, I'm going to get X amount and I'm going to make a couple $1,000s on my launch. Well, I didn't want to email all these people in advance because I didn't want to like give them a chance to unsubscribe before they heard my pitch. So on the very first email, I thought I'm just going to hit them with the sale right out of the gate so they can't get away from it, So I wrote this, I think I wrote 2 emails. I was like, hey guys, I'm going to offer this course for $300, which is too much, or for what I was offering. $300, blah, blah, blah. I knew nothing about copywriting, so it was a really boring email, no story, no nothing, just, hey, you want to be a certified drone pilot? Buy my course. I think I got like 1 billion unsubscribes. Nobody really bought. I sent out a follow-up email. I got 2 people opt in at $99. So I made $200 on a $1,500 drone giveaway that I did. So I lost, I don't know, $1,200, $1,300 on my first thing. So it was a good learning lesson. I know now that you kind of need to build up the trust first, which I was talking about the courses are good for that. Build up the trust, tell people stories, warm them up. Then when they know who you are, what you're doing, why it's good, then you can say, hey, if you're interested, I have this. And it probably would have been better for me to say, hey, click here. You can just test out the course first 5 modules, which is what I do now. You kind of like ease them in, right? Instead of just trying to like smash them with the sale, people just disappear. Another thing, to launch to, so if you have an email list, you can launch to your email list. If you don't have an email list, maybe I don't know if you have a Facebook group, existing customers, any of your current client base, I would market to those people first, right? Warmest leads. Then stuff that we've been doing is we have paid advertising that goes to a lead magnet, free lead magnet, which then we have follow-up emails that offers our course. So it's a little bit more of that easing into it thing, which has worked better. And then sometimes we just have you can just have a paid ad to your course, and maybe your course is the lead magnet for your higher level services if you have a service business. So like I said, if you're a consultant, maybe someone sees an ad for, this course that'll help them do X, Y, and Z. And a lot of times those are short, like video courses. They're like a set of 3 videos or 4 videos, and they usually drip them out one after every day. Like, oh, here's day 1 of the training. It's a 5-10 minute video on how to do this. There's a guy who has stuff on personal branding called Mark Lack. Looks pretty young, but he has good stuff on like how to build your personal brand. And he did that. So he did, hey, get my free video course on the essentials of building your personal brand and how it can explode your business with, he put some like weird sounding verbiage in there, but yeah, it worked. So I went in there, course content was good. I bought his course, thought, it was pretty cheap. That was a good investment. So, yeah, so give some value away up front. Yeah. And so that's really all I have as far as that kind of start to finish walking through what I did, tips I have. And now I guess if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to share either more about my business or my thoughts on courses, things like that.
I have a question.
Sure.
It's a loaded one, but very interesting. So my name is Ksenia, and I'm a blogger and a social media consultant. And I once spent $3,000 on a course, how to build a course. And I never completed that. It just seemed too overwhelming. I just like totally gave in. The copywriting was so brilliant. The webinar was so brilliant. And I never completed it. I probably did like 10% of it. And then I ended up releasing a Skillshark course last month. That's doing really, really well. And the reason I ended up doing it is because the way they set it up is there was a challenge. where I actually had deadlines and accountabilities. Like by this time I have my outline, by this week I do my video editing. And so now it's out there and it's a free course. So I'm making some money from it, but not a ton at all. And I'm understanding that the next step is, because the feedback is so incredible, the next step is to create a bigger course that I actually launch on Teachable that I can make real money from. But now I'm concerned about, now that people know me for having this free course, they're just going to automatically, that's my fear, they're going to automatically assume that why would we ever pay or invest if she has this free one? So how do I communicate that added value and the difference between the paid and unpaid courses?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, I'm about to work through that right now. So as it stands now, I just have the one paid course, but we're doing the same thing where we're having a small free course and then we're going to have a large paid course. And I think you have to first ask yourself, like, what is the real difference between the two courses, right? Like, if it's exactly the same, then you literally have no leg to stand on and you need to like rethink it. But I'm assuming it's like your free course is a little bit more compact, right? I mean, what's the course on?
Instagram marketing.
Okay. So I'm not sure how deep you get into Instagram marketing. Like, how long is the course or how much stuff do you?
It's 45 minutes. And I would say it's like a 101. It gives you an overview of each of the 8 topics.
Yeah. So I'm assuming maybe your big course like does a really deep dive into those topics and things like that.
Yeah.
So I would just, you have to not creative, but you have to really think about the value that they're getting from your free course and the value that they're getting from the paid course, right? Like this might be a good primer on Instagram marketing, but in order to really, be able to dig deep and get the type of, and you're teaching marketing, which you can a lot of time translate into a really good return on investment, right? So you got to think, and we're doing the same thing. So ours on video editing, right? So I have to think about, are we really teaching them that much more in the big course than we are in the small course to justify charging them? And some people are going to be like, well, I'm not going for a paid course, but you honestly probably don't want them as customers anyways, because if people hate buying stuff, then they're just going to complain and you're not going to want to deal with them. So, but there are plenty of people out there who, if you can communicate value, are willing to pay for the course. I'll say that I never realized how much the success of a course really relied on how well you can communicate the value of the course and market and sell the course. I was pretty bad at marketing, as you could tell, since I had 2 sales on a 4,000 person email list. It's pretty bad at sales and marketing. I didn't know how to do paid ads, any of that stuff. It took me a while to like figure out and learn how to communicate that value and then how to really market and sell it well. And it depends. I mean, where are you going to get your leads for? I mean, I'm assuming people that went through your free course, do you actually have their contact info to market a paid course to
message them? I don't think I have direct contacts, but I can message them.
Okay, yeah. So I would try it, because that's the one thing about putting your course on, like, I've never put my course on like Udemy, or I think you said Skillshark. Is that similar to Udemy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never put my stuff on there, but I don't know if you get the emails of the people who sign up. You don't. Yeah. I would try to find some way to get their emails off of there. So maybe you like offer either another free thing or somehow get their emails, because then what you can do is you can start educating them on why it is so important to know all this other information that you might be offering, and how really this is what holds the key to their success on Instagram. Whereas, the one-on-one stuff is nice for an overall like awareness, but to really get the results they want, they need to learn this stuff. And, you obviously have to know more about the details of what you're offering to get that, but you really just have to figure out how to communicate that well. And something that's helped me, and I know some other people in my group have worked with professional copywriters. They're not outrageously expensive. I think that was a good investment on my part. And I know other people have said that that's a really good investment to sit with a copywriter, because they ask you a lot of really good questions about your product and about what's different, and then they can help you craft that message to people. This is what I plan on doing. So
quick thing to add to that is like the next thing, the reason why I never finished the course and ended up creating my own course and chose Skillshare is because I feel intimidated and like, when I think about funnels, I'm like, I'm not one of those people. I don't want to create a funnel. So do you recommend outsourcing that completely if I just like don't want to deal with it?
When you say funnel, you're just talking about the whole sales process from getting someone at the front end to your course?
Yes.
I would say if you think funnels, then yeah. because even if you like funnels, I mean, they're still kind of time consuming to set up. Like I kind of enjoy it, but it still sucks up a lot of time when I try to do it myself. And I think it'll be faster than it is. And it takes a while. So yeah, I mean,
And just to give someone an idea of how long it takes you that you've done so many funnels, how long does a funnel take you?
Take me?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on what funnel you're talking about. Like, so for instance, I set up a funnel where I didn't do any of the paid ad stuff. So I have someone else doing creating the paid ads. They click on a paid ad.
Just the copy. Just the copy for the funnel.
Oh gosh, I think I spent, I don't know. So, well, the copy for the funnel, it was like a squeeze page, just a very little copy on it. But then I wrote 4 emails afterwards, and that took me, I don't know, 8 hours or more just to write the copy. But then setting up all the email automation to where they get dripped out at the same time and people get tagged the right way. And I used ClickFunnels, and so basically they opt in, and it gives them a one-time offer to get a discount on an ebook. Then that brings them to check, but that probably took me 20 hours and poking around in ClickFunnels to try to design all that. So I don't know, probably 30 to 40 hours of my time to try to get it set up, and then afterwards tweaking it. I don't know. I'm ballparking. I could be high. I'm not sure, but it was because I did it over a series of days and weeks. Where now there's a guy that I use, and if you're wanting to set up a course on Teachable, there's a guy I use. He's really good. His name's Bade Hira. He's a guy in India. I found him on Upwork, but he's really good. He is basically a Teachable consultant. He runs sellcoursesonline.com. He charges like $50 an hour, and he can do email automation setup, build landing pages. He automated all the stuff in the back end of my courses to make it a lot easier and to tweak a lot of things like certificates, automating that. So I just tell him, yo, B, because I'm not even sure if I'm saying his name right. B, here's what I want to do. Can you set this up? He's like, yeah, Dave, no problem. He does it, and he bills me like $100. And I'm like, oh gosh, it's so easy. It would take me so much longer because he already knows all these systems really well. So he can do it fast. And that's another, what's that?
I want that guy. Tanya, will you connect me and David? Okay.
Yeah, he's really good. So,
David, on that point, can you say all the things that people need? Because people are probably assuming that they just need the online course Teachable, right? So then there's like the ClickFunnels, the video editor, the copywriter, if they want to be more efficient.
I mean, you don't have to use ClickFunnels. I did it because I wanted that funnel build out. I wanted to do the upsell for the ebook, because that actually ebook sales, I think only about 3 to 5% of people take that offer because they're clicking on a free thing. They don't want to pay for anything. So they click on it, they get their email address, then it takes them to a quick one-time offer for like a full study guide, which confuses people. I didn't realize that it would confuse people as much as it is, and then they get the free ebook. So I wanted to do that, so I use ClickFunnels. You don't have to do that. But yeah, you have Teachable, which is the landing page. You definitely need some type of email software, some autoresponder, some MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, Aweber, SendGrid. There's like a billion of them. I use ActiveCampaign. I used to use MailChimp. I use ActiveCampaign because of I like the email automation stuff in there. Yeah, for the course, I mean, you don't have to go as like in depth as I did, but I used a motion graphics designer, which was my cousin. Fortunately, he was really good. He works for CNN. I used another video editor. Now I have customer service people because I don't want to deal with all like the student emails, but you can do that yourself, or you might want to outsource that. I've got a consultant guy who, like I said, does more of the automation. And some of these things were after I got my course set up, hiring people to kind of make things more efficient and kind of oil the machine a little bit, and get me removed from doing a lot of the tasks. But I would say creating the content and getting into the course, really, it takes a long time, and creating the videos. Because really, you have to write out the script. I think writing the script is the hardest part, because you're writing it out. And as you write it out, you sometimes write different than you speak. And so then I wrote it out, and then when I went to say it, I'm thinking, well, that sounds weird. I don't say it like that, or then I change it. And then you're going back and forth, and you're recording. And I didn't have a video guy, so I'm like running back to the camera, hitting record, come over here. I talk, I realize like my mic's turned off, and I'm like, oh, do it again, turn the mic. It's a lot of work. But the thing is, once you do it all up front, and you spend a lot of time doing this work up front, you have this digital asset that will make you, hopefully a good amount of money. Then you can focus really on just promoting, which is what I've tried to do. And I haven't had to make tweaks. People are like, oh, there's a typo here. There's an error here. Are you sure about this? And I'm like, oh, actually, that's wrong. I'm about to change. So there's like the updates type of thing. But really, you're just focusing on promoting it at that point, and getting your students through it so they can have a good experience and they can recommend it to other people.
Hey, David, this is Juliana. I have a question about how do you go about laying out curriculum, right? So as you're thinking about all of the topics that you're teaching, now I know yours is based on FAA, so there might be like already a good flow for that. But if you're a service-based company and you're like, wow, there's all this information and now I have to lay it out in a way that makes sense from module to module, do you have any sort of tips on that?
Yeah, I think it depends. It varies, like, depending on what you're teaching, if I was using the accounting, you really have to think about your topic area, and you got to think about, I want to get this person to this point. It takes a lot of planning. You're going to need to sit down with a piece of paper and just think. You could just start listing off, and this is what some other people I've worked with have done. What are all the things that I know that go into getting someone to this point? And you don't have to like categorize them or anything. Just list off everything. They need to know how to do this. They need to know how to do this, how to do this, how to do this, right? And as you just list them all off, then you can kind of sit back and look at the list and say, okay, like how do some of these fit together? Like, okay, these items are related. So maybe you like tag these. These are related. If you're looking at something and you think, what really you need to think is, what does this person need to know before they know this piece? Because a lot of what we do is the content like builds on top of each other. So let's say you have a course on Facebook advertising. I'm not a Facebook advertising expert at all, but you're not going to talk about, segmenting audiences and retargeting with this specific demographic, blah, 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 when somebody doesn't even know like what an ad set is first, you know what I mean? And to be honest, I'm like loosely know what an ad set is and all that other stuff. So you have to figure out how these blocks build on top of each other, right? And a good way to do that is once you set it up where you think it's good, grab a couple people and give it to them for free, or run a beta test, or have your friend take it who doesn't know anything about the topic. And as they're going through it, they're going to go, well, what's that? I don't know what that is. I haven't learned about that yet. And you go, oh yeah, we need to talk about that. So we've had to do that where we have to go back and teach somebody something before we get to another area. So you really just need to think about how the information builds on each other, and just do like a brainstorming mind dump of everything someone would need to know for that. And then try to start sorting it out, piecing it, looking through it, thinking, okay, what does someone need to know in order to learn this? Do they need to know anything before this? Yeah, if yes, maybe I'll add a module here teaching them that. And it's just kind of an evolving thing until you have something that's, serviceable to send out to people.
All right. Very cool. Thanks. Sure. And I'll definitely hit you up because I'm currently using Teachable to do some document templates. It's not exactly like a course, but for your Teachable dude. So
yeah, sure.
You. Thanks.
Any other questions? I know that Linda and David are about to do an online course, so should we ask questions?
Hi, David. This is Linda. You mentioned the various equipment, the external mic, the lighting, iPhone stand. Are those just generic things, or is there a specific place that'd be good to order them from?
I just got all my stuff off of Amazon. I think I got my camera. I went with so if you want to do like really nice, I don't know how much quality you're wanting to get, but I bought like a DSLR camera. I bought like one that was a couple generations back, so it was cheaper. I bought it off of eBay for I think $300 or $400. And I got a lighting kit. I can send you guys links if you want to like what I bought initially, and then you can see. I think the lighting kit I got was $100, which was like probably more than I needed. It was good. You plug them in, they're like these big lights, and just set them up, and it adds a lot to your videos. I think what makes videos, and again, I'm not a professional video editor, just from my experience doing these, what makes videos look crappy a lot of times is the lighting. People don't know how to do the lighting. So I watched a couple YouTube videos on like proper lighting setups. There are hundreds of thousands of videos on proper lighting. So they call it 3-point lighting, right? So you have one light that's a little bit more, just slightly off center, that's brighter. You got a fill light, which is at an angle, usually further away or a little bit dimmer. And then you have one light either on the background behind you, or maybe or on your, they call it hair light, kind of lights up your hair. I think that looks cheesy sometimes, so I didn't do that. But you can have one that kind of like shines this way, sort of like these fluorescent lights are doing to me. But that's like your basic lighting setup. So I just told you what you learn in a YouTube video. So I only had 2 lights though. I just did one kind of in front and one further off to the side, so you don't look like, a weird dramatic play with half of your face black.
It'd be awesome if you could send the links.
Yeah, sure, I'm happy to.
Thanks.
The iPhone stand, I didn't buy one of those since I didn't use my iPhone, but I know they sell iPhone kind of tripods that just kind of keep your iPhone still, so it doesn't look like you set your iPhone like on the table and pointed it up at you. But yeah, I can shoot out. I guess maybe I'll give them to Tanya and she can disperse that or something. But I can give like a little equipment list out to what I did. And I'll tell you this: before I did it, I bought a course myself for $20 from a guy who's teaching how to do like DIY video. And actually, I ended up using that guy to edit my videos. And now he's the guy that I'm creating my other course with, my bigger drone video editing course. So we kind of blossomed to something else. But in his course, which I highly recommend, which I bought and went through, yeah, he gives you equipment lists. He tells you, it's mostly for like interviewing type stuff, but he tells you what equipment to buy, what camera settings to use, what lenses are good. That's if you want to probably invest $700 to $1,000 into equipment. That's probably what I did. He kind of talks about that. I think his course is like $20. But I'm happy to share with you the stuff I did, the equipment I got, and kind of my setup anyways, if you don't want to spend the extra 20.
So I have a question.
Go for it.
Because you teach about, it's sort of a little bit different, but you teach about how to use drones. So have you, I'm actually curious about that, just for creating promotional videos for something I'm working on. So is there a particular beginner type drone that you would recommend?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your use for it, but if you're just kind of looking for your standard.
It's for video.
I might connect Kendall, you and David on the side, because it's just on drones.
Okay.
We want to do this on online courses. Another question, David, that a lot of members ask me is, how much should they spend in the beginning for ad spend promoting their course?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, when I started doing ads, but again, I didn't really know what I was doing. I think my price was too high. I couldn't get it profitable at first, so I shut it down. It's the paid ads, and I ended up just going with affiliates only at first. So basically, I Googled, a couple drone keywords into Google, saw what blogs popped up, the most popular ones, especially that are around like the FAA test and certification. Reached out to them and said, hey, I'm making this test prep course. Would you be interested in being an affiliate partner? I remember the first person who said yes, thedronegirl.com is really popular, kind of like drone blog. She's got a good personality. She was like, yeah, David, that sounds great. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, freaking out. And she actually really kind of pushed, elevated my sales enough just from the affiliate stuff. It was a few $1,000s a month that she was bringing into me. I think she got 25%, which is probably kind of low. I think she did 20%. I think I do 30% now to people. So she's making a couple $100s a month. I'm making a couple $1,000s a month. And just from her, I just created a little banner badge thing for her to put on her site. They click on it. It's a unique promo code to her site. So it's like Drone Girl 50. People get $50 off. They click on it. Teachable, they have you can do a URL where when people click the URL, when they get to your landing page, it has the discount automatically applied. The discount code's automatically applied. So I started doing that. Once I got some more money, then I tried Google ads again. I mean, I just started small. I think I started with $20 a day, $30 a day. I let that simmer. I didn't want to go too fast, too hard. And I saw, okay, people are converting. So then I bumped it up $50, $60 a day. I get up, and I eventually got it to $200 a day, $300 a day. But then it kind of unraveled because I didn't know how to change the bids and some of the targeting and stuff like that. And I had a Google, what happened was, I think, it was around the same time, a Google AdWords person called me and said, oh my gosh, you're missing out on all these great features of Google AdWords. You need to add these different little things at the bottom, and you need to have a location page, and you need all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, my performance just plummeted because I was spending money on all this stuff that probably didn't need to be spent on. So I hired this guy, another Owners Up guy, and he's taking control and making it really good. So now I spend I think I spend $500 to $600 a day on Google ads. But at first I spent probably $20, and then slowly on my phone, on the AdWords app, you can just change your budget. So I kept changing the budget, and I'd be like, okay, here we go, 200. Oh. But yeah, it worked.
And then another question people ask, and I know that they've asked me, how long should a course be on average? I know it changes, some people do 1 hour, but what do you think is a good amount to charge, about $100 or maybe 200 or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard because there's not really like a standard answer, right? Because what they're paying for is the value that they're getting, so you could have a course that's 30 minutes long, but if it teaches me how to make 50 grand, I'd pay 20 grand for it, So you really want to base your price off of what value you can communicate to someone. And so, the drone exam is $150 to the FAA to pay to take it. So if someone is paying me money, they're not going to pay $1,000 to learn how to take that, because also there's like some free resources they can use, things like that. So I have to kind of figure out what I can charge. And if I made my lectures all text, people wouldn't pay for that because there's already stuff like that out there. So I think I have 2 to 2.5 hours worth of video content in my course. That's where part of the value is. A bigger part of the value, I think, in my course is all of the practice tests and quizzes. So we've taken that exam several times. We've done a bunch of research, written practice questions. Those are the most time consuming to do. So people can practice questions and learn kind of almost what's exactly on the exam and prep for it, which people can't get other places. So I would say if you're charging $100 for a course, you probably should have at least 30 minutes to an hour worth of video content or some type of interactive piece to it. If you're charging like premium courses like $300 to $500, you can maybe go a little upwards of an hour. I mean, and I would recommend, I wanted to say this earlier, don't make an hour-long video. People will hate you. Do like shorter. None of my videos run longer than like 6 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes. Most of them are like 3 minutes. So I have maybe 85 modules, which seems like a lot, but you go through them pretty quick. So you do bite-sized chunks. So it's like 3-minute video, a couple paragraphs, 1 to 2 paragraphs of text, maybe like 2 or 3 practice questions. Then you go to the next one, 3-minute video, this and like that. And I took a Facebook ads course where I think the videos were maybe like 7 minutes. And I think that's okay. I wouldn't go over like 7, max 10 minutes with a video. I'm taking another course right now and the videos are 10 minutes long. And I think that's like pretty good. I wouldn't want them to be longer, because then people, if they leave the course and they want to come back, they don't want to have to like hunt through where they were in a specific video. They just want to jump into a module and pick up there. So I wouldn't make them any longer than 10 minutes. I would shoot for like 5-minute chunks of video. And then, I don't think any of the courses I've taken have more than probably 2 hours worth of video content. People don't want to sit there for hours and hours and hours and hours just watching videos. They want to learn something that's going to give them an outcome. So it's almost like you can sell it more if you can get all that outcome in 2 hours worth of video. So I think I just paid $1,500 for a course. Well, it's spread out. It's like 100 and whatever a month for a course. And I think there's, probably about 2 hours worth of video content in there, but, made some good promises. It's a reputable company. They're kind of like the go-to people on that stuff. So that would be my answer on that, I'd say.
David, this is Linda. Can you share why you chose Teachable versus Thinkific?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It was like 2 years ago that I did this, and I think what I was looking for at the time was something that I was really trying to cater to the test prep format that I was going for. And so I think Teachable had the best functionality that I was looking for, especially in regard to quizzes. And something else I really liked, actually, I remember this specifically, was the mobile functionality, because I know a lot of people are going to be wanting to pull this stuff up on their phones. I haven't messed around with Thinkific much. I think I liked the mobile functionality of Teachable better than Thinkific. So like on your phone, I can save so Teachable does have an app too that's pretty slick. But even if you're just using you type in the course URL to Safari or whatever, it looks pretty nice. So for instance, I don't know if you guys can see this, I'll try to hold it up. Like here's the outline, this is the mobile interface. So I can you can scroll through, you can click on a video. It's got the video here you can play, it's got the lecture, all this stuff, and the quiz at the bottom. So it's good navigation. So I knew that was going to be important to people. So that was one of the things I remember choosing them for.
All right. Well, thank you so much, David. Super valuable. I'm going to get all the information and I'll send it to everybody who attended, like who he hired for a video editor, all the tools he's used. And I think that was it, right?
Yeah, the equipment list, and then the guide, the Adhira, the Teachable consultant.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, David.
Sure. Yeah, that was fun.
All right.